Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. This isn't a gardening recipe today, it's a homestead recipe, especially if you have a cow and you make your own vanilla, then you're totally golden to call this a homestead recipe. This is a perfect gift for people. All you need is a blender and a couple of ingredients to make this homemade Baileys. So you're going to need a cup of either heavy cream or half and half, whichever you prefer. I prefer just a lighter cream version, so I'm doing the half and half. And if you have a cow, this is a perfect time to utilize some cream. You're going to need 1 2/3 cup of an Irish whiskey. Jameson apparently is what they use a lot of the times in an actual Bailey's recipe or a Bailey's that you would buy at the store. So I'm going to use Jameson. You can honestly experiment with a bunch of different liquors and whiskeys. But you're just going to want a nice Irish whiskey that's nice and smooth. You don't want anything that's like a smoky flavor or anything that's going to overpower that creamy richness of the Baileys. So 1 2/3 cups of that. You're going to need a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. If you are in America, that is 1 can of condensed milk. If you are in Canada, we typically see, so 14 ounces is equivalent to 395 milliliters. Well, in Canada, we only have 300 milliliters. So basically, you have to get a can and a bit. So 395, so you're going to need 300 and then 95 from a second can. So if you're in America, 1 14-ounce can. If you're in Canada, they make things silly here. So anyways, you need 1 can of the condensed milk. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of chocolate syrup, a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and a teaspoon of coffee granules. I went and that's like an instant coffee. I actually made mine into a powder because it's easier to incorporate into your mix. And then you're going to need containers to put them in. So if you're gifting these, you're going to need like smaller ones. You can use these in mason jars. If you have an Old Bailey's bottle, you can buy these at the Dollar Tree in various different sizes. This is my vanilla extract in a big, like this is like a wine glass, but they sell, or sorry, a wine bottle. They sell smaller ones. Whatever you want, just make sure that it's glass. It holds up better in glass and just keeps the flavor better. And we're going to keep this in the fridge. This is not a shelf-stable recipe, so if you put them in a mason jar, you still have to put it in the fridge. So we're going to go ahead, and you're basically adding everything to a blender. It's a super easy recipe with the exception of the whiskey. I actually don't have a blender. I just got rid of it because it broke. So I'm using a hand blender, so don't mind me, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Pretend this is my blender for a sec. So I've got my cream, my coffee. Now because I don't have a blender, I actually just blended that coffee right into the cream to make sure there was no granules because it's just a little bit different, but you won't have to do that. And then you've got literally everything else except for that whiskey, the vanilla, the 3 tablespoons of your chocolate syrup, and then your 14 ounces of your condensed milk, no matter what that looks like for you. And you're going to go ahead and blend that all up. And here's what it looks like. As you can see, it's kind of starting to take on that Bailey's appearance. Now we are going to add that 1 2/3 cup of our Irish whiskey. And then we're just going to go and blend that all up. And now it's at this point you want to do a taste testing. You are going to want to see if you need to add anything else. So you can add more whiskey if you're finding it's not strong enough for you. You can add more chocolate, more vanilla. You could even add some more condensed milk, though I do find it's quite sweet with the amount of stuff that it requires. But go ahead and give it a taste test. If I like it, I'm going to bottle it up and show you. And there we are. I forgot to mention that this recipe makes just 4 cups. It's actually a very healthy 4 cups. I had a little splash left over. And I will warn anybody who drinks Bailey's on a regular, this is a little bit stronger than your commercial Bailey's. And you can adjust. The nice thing is you can adjust. So being that it's strong, maybe start with 1 cup and then work your way up of the whiskey. Like I said, you can also play with the vanilla content, the chocolate content. I added just a little bit more chocolate. There also is quite a hint of coffee in this as well. It's not overpowering, but you can tell that it's there. So if you don't like coffee, maybe only do half a teaspoon of the coffee granules, just in case, you know, especially if you're giving it to somebody who like hates coffee. There is coffee notes in this in comparison, again, to a commercial brand, but it is delicious and it's an easy and fun gift. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. I forgot to add that you want to put a lid on it to make it airtight, in an airtight container, and this lasts in the fridge for up to 2 months. So, like I said, great Christmas gift to give somebody who will drink it right away. Okay, bye again.